Back's turn. Origi turn, shoots.
Build the dream in FIFA. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video, and today a brand new series potentially. I love doing this stuff, and I'm probably only going to do it for the top 5 leagues going forward. But as it's international break, I thought it would be a nice place to start. So, what I mean by this, and what this whole video is Team of the Week picks. It's like a pre-prediction. So we're going to look at the games to come, and who I think will perform and who could potentially be in with an inform. So I'm going to show you this screen and then we'll show you some cards. So the first game on the list is going to be Holland, or the Netherlands, against Belarus. Now, Holland have won 83% of their last, I think, 5 or 6 matches against Belarus. And the first player worth a mention here is Ryan Babel. This guy scored twice last time out for Holland. And of course, they sit third in the table behind Northern Ireland, who I believe they play first. But then they play Belarus a few days later. I've got a strong feeling that there'll be an inform from this game in particular. And there are 3 players in mind, Ryan Babel being the first one. The next one is going to be Memphis Depay. Now, this guy was on fire for the first 2 weeks of the season, maybe even 3 weeks into the international break. And of course, when they played Germany and they had another game as well, he scored multiple goals. And he did look really good. Unfortunately, Lyon have dropped off a lot, and so has Depay, so remains to be seen whether he can keep up his form. But the outside chance here is going to be the ones-to-watch De Ligt. Now, it's unlikely that he'll get it in form unless he can score a goal, because I can't imagine Belarus laying siege to the Dutch goal that often. But you never know. If he makes a couple of challenges, they keep a clean sheet, maybe he gets an assist or even gets a goal, there is an outside chance that he could be given an inform. Moving on to Belgium against San Marino, and it's not the only team that's going to play San Marino this week. Scotland also feature, so we'll talk about them later on. But for right now, Belgium are the team in contention, and there's just everyone. Literally any of the Belgian players could get it, but I've picked 3, obviously. First of which is, I would say, the favourite really to get more goals. I don't know whether when did he get this in form? 88 rated Mertens, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner. I really don't know when he got it. Was it week 1? I must have missed it for whatever reason. But, I mean, all he needs to do is pop up with a couple of goals. I mean, goals fly in against San Marino, whatever team play them. So, I wouldn't be surprised. And of course, Lukaku has a ones to watch. Thorgan Hazard actually has a ones to watch as well. I maybe should have mentioned him. So does Eden Hazard. But there's massive talk about Eden Hazard getting an inform this week. So if that happens, obviously he won't be able to get it back to back. So I left him out. But Lukaku is a big shout here, because I think if he does less than Mertens, but he still gets himself on the score sheet, there's a fair chance EA cash in on that. And then of course we have my outside chance, and I think the third pick in every team that we do will be my outside chance, and I've got Batshuayi. He got a couple of goals last time out. Of course, Belgium, they tend to field I would say, weaker team. Batshuayi's by no means a bad player, but they do field like Adnan Januzaj, and I think they played them in September. Batshuayi scored a couple of goals against them, then Januzaj played, etc. Up next, we've got Poland against Latvia. Latvia are bottom of that group, as you can see just at the bottom there. They've lost every single game they've played so far, 6 from 6. They've conceded 21 and they've only scored 1 goal. The problem is, Poland aren't exactly what's the word I'm looking for? They don't score a lot of goals. I don't know what it is, but they've scored 8 in 6, which is decent. But you know, they've already they've played Latvia back in March, and they only beat them 2-0, despite the fact that Latvia's defence is horrific. I've got Lewandowski in there, of course I have. He's the main striker. He's the best Polish player there is. So obviously I'm going to choose him as being the top favourite to get himself an inform. And then moving on, of course, to, is it Piatek or Piatek? I hear a lot of people say that, but either way, if he gets off the bench, this guy could do some stuff, because he's benched a lot by Poland. They only play 1 striker, and of course Lewandowski takes that place. So I do feel bad for this guy internationally, because he doesn't really get the game time I think he probably deserves and obviously would like. My outside chance here, and bear with me, we're going to go with Grozicki of Hull. He had an extremely good start to the season with Hull. I think it was the first game of the new season. I think he scored twice, or he did something of that nature. Of course, he's been playing okay actually for Poland internationally, and I can definitely see him doing something against Latvia. But I digress. Let's move on to Portugal against Luxembourg. This is going to be a big one as well. Luxembourg 4th in the table. They're not a terrible side. They've won a game, they've drawn a game. They're not like a Latvia where they've just lost every game and they're just there to make up the numbers. Luxembourg can, on their day, cause an upset. Not that they've done that against Portugal in the last 15 years or so. But either way, you never know. This could be their year. Probably not. Ronaldo up first, of course. He is the main player for Portugal. He's the big name. I would have thought that if anyone was in like a favourite to get an inform, it was going to be Ronaldo. But last time these two teams met was actually 2015, so we can't really judge on how he'll or they will perform against Luxembourg. João Felix, of course, has a ones to watch. That's why he's there, and it's a bit of an obvious one. He's actually been playing quite well for Atletico so far this season. A bit of a hiccup in the last couple. Was it in the last game or the game before? Atletico drew. Was it 0-0? I can't quite remember. Either way, João Felix has been in a relatively good goal-scoring form, and of course Bruno Fernandes. This is a card that I would love to see get an inform, and of course I'd love to see him get a January move as well. But it's a little bit too soon to start talking about that, I think. Bruno Fernandes, though, 85 rated, already with a great card, goes up to 86. He'll be super cheap because he's not in the top 5 league, and you never know, he might get it. But Ronaldo and Felix are definitely the front runners. Moving on to Italy against Greece. Greece are, they're one of those teams. They can be okay, but at the other hand, they can be quite bad. They've not played well against Italy since 2008, although to be fair to them, they've only played 2 games since 2008, one of them being in that year. And of course, June just gone, Italy slapped them 3-0. Ciro Immobile on the score sheet in that game, I believe, and of course they've won 6 from 6. Immobile playing well as well for Lazio so far this season. I think he scored 2 goals in a 2-2 draw on the weekend. There's a very, very slim outside chance he could get an inform for that performance, but I doubt it. Had Lazio gone on to win the game, then maybe, but no. But Italy at home against Greece, stranger things have happened. Chiesa up next. Not a bad shout for an inform. 82 rated potentially. He's already got relatively good pace and dribbling. I would not be surprised to see this guy on the score sheet once or twice. The other player I was going to mention was Pellegrini, but he's actually injured. The Roma cam. He actually played left wing last Italian game, but he's injured, so he's not going to be on the list next. I'm actually going to go for the ones to watch, Barella. Now, not just choosing him because he's a ones to watch. He does play for the national side. He played full 90 minutes last time out, and he played an 8.2, which I believe was the second highest rating on the pitch. So many people have been looking at this card and packing it and going, oh god, it's the worst one. I don't think it is. He plays regularly for Inter. He plays regularly for the national side. He's a good player. I've bought quite a few. I'm predicting big things. Germany against Estonia. Last time these two teams played, it finished 8-0. When was that? June, just gone, I know. So Germany are top of the group, of course. They've lost 1 game, but they are still flying high. Estonia have lost every game they've played so far, and they've conceded 18 goals. And we all know the first player on the list is going to be Serge Gnabry. This guy is in top goal-scoring form right now. Of course, he slapped, 28 goals against Spurs, something like that. I would not be surprised to see him on the score sheet, and I think EA will probably be in favour of giving him an inform over anybody else, maybe Barra wants to watch, because they didn't do anything for that UCL performance, of course, so would not be surprised if 1 or 2 goals were enough for Gnabry. Although Marco Reus will be closely contesting that, I would have thought, because again, he's on the score sheet quite a few times for the German national side. I think last time out he got a goal or 2, and he played on the right wing, which would be a position change, obviously. That's what I love about internationals, especially the Polish international games, because obviously Alaba plays central, and then you've got Royce who plays out on the right and so on. And of course, my outside chance here is going to be Julian Brandt. Now, the reason it's an outside chance is because he's not a regular for the German national side. He did get on in the last game. I think he actually started but then got subbed off. So he would need to really perform in the first half if he is to start against Estonia. I would imagine the German coach would take this game fairly lightly, seeing as how they slapped them 8-0 last time, and he might actually play a weakened side. Therefore, Julian Brandt would probably get on the pitch. Some honourable mentions we might as well talk about. Sweden have got a relatively straightforward fixture, but I don't think there's enough there for me to say, hey, I've got a dedicated video for you. But Isaac is my pick of the Swedish lot because he's a goal scorer, man. He really does score goals for that Swedish side. I actually had him. I picked him out last time. I didn't buy him in game or anything, but last time Sweden played, I highlighted him as one of the players who would do well. I think he actually scored twice, so I'm quite happy about that one. Next up, we've got McGinn. Scotland play San Marino, the other side to play them, of course, the other team being Holland, we mentioned at the very beginning of the video. McGinn has been in top form for Aston Villa. Just off the back of that 5-1 win against Norwich as well, I would imagine he'd be full of confidence, and why not? You know, he's scoring goals for fun, and they play one of the worst sides in the world. Not that Scotland are exactly, you know, free scoring at the moment. They are struggling in front of goal, even against quote-unquote lesser sides. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I've got another Scottish player, of course. Robertson is the captain, and he's obviously going to start. If he just gets a couple of assists, EA may just look for the rating. To be fair, though, I wouldn't be surprised if Scotland managed 5 or 6 goals, and it's been known, then I wouldn't be surprised if they chose maybe 2 players, but seeing as how it is San Marino, there is a fair chance that they may look upon it lightly. So, to be honest, I don't really know what EA are planning, but you never know. If Robertson comes up with a goal or an assist, he could get himself an inform, and it wouldn't be a video without mentioning Jadon Sancho. Of course, England play Bulgaria. I think they've got 2 games, but Bulgaria being the one that I've chosen. I think, do they play the Czech Republic as well, or have I made that up? I can't remember. Sancho is in with a shout. Of course, Harry Kane is in with a shout. Raheem Sterling is in there as well. There are plenty of other players. In fact, the whole England team could be in with a shout there if they get a goal against Bulgaria, because obviously EA will favour English players because they know they sell packs, especially the ones to watch England players, like Maguire, for instance. If he just does anything in that game, if he plays, of course, then you never know. But that's going to compile my list. There are loads of other games on, and there are loads of other potential players, but I've picked out the heavily one-sided games. I haven't looked at any of the top clashes. So, for instance, last international break, we had Germany-Holland. For instance, if there were any this time, I would really look at those. I think the closest big clash that we have is actually Sweden-Spain. So, I'm going to, when we go into the domestic side of things, I will look at that. But let me know if you want to see more of this. One of the main reasons I do this for fun, incidentally, is because I'm a big part of the Football Index. If you don't know what that is, there will be a link down below. I do bang on about it a lot, so I'd be surprised if you don't know what it is by now. But it's essentially a football stock market, and if you use the code, whatever it is in the description down below, I can't remember what the code is, it's a bunch of numbers, then you get a free £10 when you deposit your first 10. But it's such a good platform, and it's a sensible way to gamble, if that even makes remote sense to anyone out there. But either way, I do this because it helps me on that platform. So I thought I'd adapt it to FIFA. If you want to see more of this, maybe once a week on a Wednesday for the domestic stuff, then feel free to let me know in the comments. And of course, hit the like button if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.